So what if I want to just brush on a clear glaze on the outside of a piece? On the inside, we've seen I can pour it, but on the outside, that's going to be a little bit trickier. Not going to happen. It's a lot easier to dunk pieces in glaze, but unfortunately, when you're working at home, the easiest way really is to brush. So it's a little more time consuming, but it works pretty well. So you need to consider the size of your piece that you're working with and the size of your brush. So match your brush with the size of your piece. Like this is going to way overpower everything if I want to get any details in here. And if I've got a big bowl like this little brush is going to take me ages to get into all this surface area. However, I may need it to get into the nooks and crannies, and you know, we'll play with that too. These brushes, these Haka brushes, are really good. Go pick one of those or two of those up. This is a 1 inch, and grab yourself a 2-inch one while you're at it. They're not very expensive, and they will make everything more beautiful in your world. So, highly recommended. I've got my clear glaze mixed up prior. It's still good. It's still mixed up. But I really want to just apply some of this to my brush. See how this brush is all discolored? I let that soak in water. When you're done with these, clean them out and let them dry naturally. Don't let them soak. They'll get really gross. But anyway, what I really want to do, and this is just a demo, but I want to make sure to apply this fairly evenly. Give it a nice coat. Give it a little bit of room to run at the bottom. Glaze is going to run. Brush thin out that area where you started a little bit and just work your way around and try and get this as even as possible. It's going to take a little doing, and you only want one coat of this clear glaze, but because it'll get cloudy if it's too thick. So just continue to kind of overlap and try working quickly to keep it all nice and even. You can see how it soaks in. It'll change color. Just keep on working back. Work your way back, work your way forth. If you've got a funny area that you come to, you're going to have to turn your brush sideways and hope for the best. Get into all those nooks and crannies. You want to have enough on your brush to where it's flowing. If it's just like you know, you're not getting a full coat on like that if your brush gets too dry. Make sure to keep on dipping. Keep dipping that brush. And if I somehow got some on the bottom, oh no. Just take a sponge, wet sponge, wipe it off. All right? And make sure you keep your rinse containers separate. It's going to make life easier. You can continue using these rinse containers over and over and over again. As long as you keep them separate, you keep the clears separate from the red iron, and keep your brushes separate, keep your sponges separate, and just keep reusing those until the end of the semester, and you can drop off as long as you've got a lid. Find a container that you can put a lid on, you can drop those off here, and we will deal with that rinse water. Just real quickly, if I'm attacking a project that has all these undulations, all these ripples, all these funny features, what I want to do to apply the clear glaze is start at those really funny areas with a smaller brush and get into those as best as I can, and then work around with my larger brush and feather in to those areas. Always kind of like, if you have to work into an area, you want to feather out the glaze a little bit, so like so. If you're going to be working with a larger brush in the larger areas, you're going to feather it out so that it's not a full coat, and then when I come back with my larger brush, I can work into that and hopefully create an even, relatively even layer of this glaze over the entire piece. Okay, so that, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but you get the idea. These feet down here, I can glaze to maybe right here. I just need to leave a little bit of room for this glaze to run. Glaze runs in the kiln. It's not an American color because it runs, all right? So keep that in mind. Did I say one coat? You're gonna wanna brush 2 coats of clear glaze on anything you brush with. 1 coat is just not gonna suffice. 3 is going to be too thick, but 2 should do the trick.